you go.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Just record this again. Okay, can you guys hear us?
Yes, we can.
Okay, Coach Jake White, the floor is open.
Jake, you won 22-9 and it was hard fought at times, but I guess for the first game you'll always be happy with the win despite the performance.
Yeah, Ashok, I suppose that's exactly it. I told them afterwards, sometimes you've got to win those sort of games. Credit to the Lions. I thought that they played with a lot of emotion and they were really good at the breakdown. Obviously they were trying really hard to slow the ball down. I mean, you could imagine, it's interesting, I just said to someone now that we played, first half we had 21 minutes ball in play, and our average in the Currie Cup was 27 minutes for the whole game. So, I mean, we literally played almost a whole game of rugby in the first half, which just showed, how difficult it was for us. But yeah, I mean, a win's a win. I think there were a couple of tries there we could have maybe taken those opportunities, but I think all of you guys would know that when you're playing at this level, you've got to find ways to win, and I'm proud that at least we found a way to win the game.
Jake, is dit 'n frustrasie om 3 keer te gaan druk en dan word die 3 omgekeer?
Ja, Kobus 4 keer. So eintlik 4 keer gewees, jy weet. So ja, dit was helse frustrasie. Ek moet vir jou sê, elke keer as jy dink jy nou is bietjie weg en daar's bietjie lig tussen jy en die oppositie, dan kom jy weer terug en dan begin jy weer van voor af. So ja, dit was teleurstellend. Ek het gedink miskien daai geel kaart wat hulle gekry het, miskien was dit 'n straf 3 ook, maar ek sal 'n bietjie kyk en sien as ek nou by die huis is vanaand, dan 'n bietjie kyk en sien wat was die probleem daar gewees. Maar soos ek vroeër gesê het, ek dink die feit dat ons gewen het is, veral almal gaan vir ons kom en ek het geweet, ek het my weer by die spelers gesê, as jy 'n wenner is en jy wen bekers, dan gaan almal wil hê hulle teen jou wen. So, ons moet vasbyt om my game deur te trek.
Jake, you mentioned the frustrations at the breakdown and knowing that teams are going to come at you now. That Lions defence was really quickly up off the line. Towards the end of the first half, there was a little chip over the top, which Cornell nearly scored from.
Yes.
Do you think the guys could have grabbed it a bit more or tried a few more of those little chips over the top?
Yeah, I think an interesting thing, Ken, it's interesting you say that, because we started so well, we kept the ball for about 3.5 minutes, went and scored, and I think we probably got seduced a little bit by the fact that we looked as like a training run. We could keep the ball, and then they had lots of numbers in the line, left no one behind, and there was so much space behind it. We just turned them around a few times. I think we would have been able to exploit that. But, that's, again, just part of coaching and part of growing as a team. I think, again, we mustn't be sucked into the fact that because you start so early and you start so well, that you think you're going to be able to keep the ball. I think and again, coaches always say we play too much rugby, and I just think sometimes you can just be a little bit smarter about the fact that if they send people up in the front line, you should play the space behind. But again, that's something we'll work on and chat about. But you're right. I think there was a lot of opportunities where we, but it was interesting. While I'm talking to you, we played into the wind the first half, and then we came out and we played into the wind the second half, which I found we thought we got quite lucky. I said to them at half-time, we're going to play now with the wind. We can actually just pin them in the corners, and all of a sudden the wind turned and went the other way. So, yeah, it was quite an extraordinary, I suppose, changing of the wind, because we're so used to the wind coming from Joburg across, with the rain, that when it turned, wasn't something we were used to. But still, as I said, it was a win.
Jake, jy moet gelukkig wees of tevrede wees met die impak wat die plaasvervangers gemaak het in die tweede helfte.
Ja, Kobus, as jy nou dink, ons het Lizo as 'n Springbok, Arno is 'n Springbok, Morna is 'n Springbok, Jacques het baie jare gespeel, ek dink hy's 'n ervare speler, Walt Steenkamp is meer ervare as die ander twee slotte, hy's 25 jaar oud, so ek het altyd geweet, as ons nou, ek het vir hulle gesê, ek soek die composure op die einde van die game, voor die game. Ek wil sê, luister, dis hoekom hierdie bank daar is, ek wil nou graag hê hulle het 'n bietjie composure wys en maturity wys, en ek was tevrede daarmee, maar ek dink die uitdaging is om seker te maak, as daai spelers begin met hulle met dieselfde, intensiteit en dieselfde jy weet, vermoë speel as hulle ook in die begin 15 is, jy weet. As hy Lizo 'n helse impak gemaak, maar sy uitdaging is om seker te maak as hy begin moet hy net so speel.
Jake, talk to us about the challenges ahead. I mean, obviously, you're heading to Cape Town now, and perhaps which players you're definitely getting back, or you're expecting to get back this week for the trip down there?
Yeah, Jan, so yeah, we're going to come down to Cape Town. I mean, I think now that they've lost, I mean, I can expect that they're going to be fired up this weekend. You know, it's always, as you know, North-South derbies are always tough anyway. You know, I can imagine on the rebound of what they got through today, you know, a couple of red cards and an opportunity to win the game in the death. So I can imagine that they'd be hurting and they'd want to do well. You know, hopefully we'll get Trevor and Dwayne back this week. So Trevor and Dwayne will be available next week. And then a couple of other guys that are nearly there, you know. So we'll have a look at the combinations and see what we think is the best to go and obviously challenge the Stormers in Cape Town. You know, I think it's saw enough today to see, you know, scored 3 tries against the Sharks. And as I said, could have scored in the death there as well with, you know, having played 40 minutes with 14 men. It's not a bad return based on the fact that they, you know, as I said, they had to play with less numbers for a long period of that game.
Jack, despite some of those errors, there were a few youngsters again who stood up. Janko Swanepoel, I thought that probably his best game in the Bulls jersey. So the Vino was busy again as well.
Yeah. Ashfaq, you know, I mean, I'm very happy. I think that you look at that pack of forwards, you've got Ulrich Lowe's just come out of under 21s last year. Janku's come out of under 21s last year. You know, Mornay Smith is a young, tight-head prop. You look at guys like Joe Van Sail, who came off the bench as a youngster. You know, and then you look at a guy like Trevino Jacobs. So I mean, it is exciting times to know that that's the caliber. You know, David Creel, when I think aloud now, I get David Creel as well as a youngster there. So yeah, it is. It's nice. You know, I think again we've been fortunate that we've been able to blend them with a couple of senior players, and I think that's what swung the game for us, was having a bench of you know, senior, more mature, composed players, which can also give confidence. You know, you get too many youngsters out there at the back end of the game, 10-9. A couple of things don't go your way, you don't score a try, start to panic. You know, I think again it's nice for those youngsters to learn from the seniors and see, you know, exactly how to close off a game as well.
Any more?
What did you think of your scrum, Jake? Lizo certainly also made an impact. Mornay Smith did well.
Yeah, sure. You know, interesting. We had Jacques van Rooyen at the end there on a tight head, and we got a scrum penalty right in the death. So again, you know, I mean, I think it's great for us to know that we got that sort of depth playing there as well. You know, I don't think we scrummed as well as we could have. I mean, again, throughout the game. But saying that, you know, as I said, I'm happy that I think we got 3 scrum penalties, which is, you know, a lot of people have been writing about our scrum. You know, it's going to be a massive test next week against Kitsoff and Malherbe and Netling Fischer and Ali Vermaak. So, you know, again, something that we can probably be a little bit proud of. But again, the test starts all over on Saturday in Cape Town. Anything else, guys?
Yeah, Jake, sorry, you mentioned the red cards in the Stormers Sharks game.
Yes.
Obviously, the new trial laws didn't really come into effect in this game here, but are you in favour of those new laws? Red cards, people coming, you get your player back after 20 minutes?
You know what it's like, Ken. I think it's going to get used to it. I mean, I didn't enjoy the captain's referrals all the time. I don't particularly enjoy the fact that you get, you know, carry over the ball and you get a goal line dropout. But again, that's because we've probably been so used to and spoiled to the fact that the laws haven't been like that, you know. So it isn't ideal. I mean, I think again the red card, you know, there's a massive push now for players to abide by the laws, change their height when they go into contact, both defensively and attacking wise. And I suppose, you know, today was evident of the fact that if you're not going to do it, you're going to get found out. And, you know, it's something we're working hard on. Breakdown-wise, carrying low, you know, defensively, making sure you change your body heights. And if it's going to make the game, you know, speed up and it's going to make the game safer, then, you know, we want young boys to play rugby. We don't want mums to say, listen, you can't play rugby, it's dangerous. So, you know, if that means that we're going to grow our game, then yes, I'm in favour of those sort of nuances and those sort of strict protocols when it comes to head injuries, etc., etc.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen.